Hi, this is Jennifer Tibay from AB English 1A. Today, we are going to share what we have learned about science and technology. Science and technology have undeniably contributed to the advancement of our civilization today. It influenced practically every area of human life. Technology is present in our daily life, from the moment we get up until the time we go to bed. It has been our government's most useful force in bringing about significant changes in our country's development. Science and technology is an incredibly important field of study, and learning how it works will give you a better understanding of the world around you. Come along as we discuss the different branches and their importance, as well as how they have evolved over time. We'll explore big ideas by looking at the small details of things like mechanical advancement and technological innovations. The four topics that we will share are the following. First, the science and technology in the Philippine society. Next is the government policies on science and technology. Third is the famous Filipinos in the field of science. And lastly, indigenous science and technology in the Philippines.
Science technology in the Philippine society.
Hi everybody! I am Mara Fe, si Dating Ginoo. Hi, I'm Risa.
Hi, I'm Nere. Hi, I'm Stella. Hi, I'm Mariby. Our content for today is about the science and technology in the Philippine society. Our ancestors already had their own culture and traditions before the coming of Spaniards and Americans. They have their own system and belief that helped them to survive, like using stones to build fire. Early Filipinos knows how to plant their crops and taking care of animals to provide their foods.
Can it be said that there was science and technology in ancient times?
Yes. Filipinos use early and indigenous sciences to prepare the soil for agriculture, understanding the movements of celestial planets to anticipate seasons and documenting the uses of medicinal plants. People use technology in the construction of buildings, irrigation systems, and they develop tools for gardening, hunting, cooking, and other tasks. They also invented musical instrument making technologies.
You are correct, Mariby. Let us proceed. During Metal Age, artifacts were also found in different regions of the country, which signified that early Filipino utilized these tools on their daily living. Their technological concept aided in the development of many tools, as seen by the intricate design of gold and silver jewelry, pottery, and metal implements. Eventually, they also developed different sophisticated design of artifacts. Trading in other neighboring countries has also had an impact on their needs, providing a variety of cultural and technological exchange opportunities.
But Miss Estela, all these ancient scientific and technological practices are now deep indigenous.
Well, let us talk about what happened when the Philippines was colonized by Spaniards. When the Spaniards colonized the country, they brought with them their own culture and practices. They create boys and girls school and introduced the concept of education and disciplines. It was the start of formal science and technology in the country, which is now known as the Science and Technology School. Learning of science in school focuses on the understanding of different concepts related to the human body, plants, animals, and heavenly bodies. Technology focuses on using and developing house tools used in everyday life.
In addition, Miss Nere, the life during the Spanish era slowly became modernized, adopting some Western technology and their ways of life. The Filipinos developed ways to replicate the technology brought by the Spaniards using indigenous materials. Medicine and advanced science were introduced in formal colleges and universities established by the Catholic orders like University of Santo Tomas.
Miss Naren, can you tell us what are the effects of galleon trade in the Philippines?
The galleon trade has provided the Philippines with further technology and progress. Although only beneficial to the Spaniards, this trade enabled for the development of the new ideas, crafts, and technologies. To get to the country, you'll need tools, cultural practices, technology, and research practices. Some students from the Philippines who were able to study in Europe also contribute from the growth of the country in the fields of medicine, engineering, the arts, music, and literature.
You mean to say, Miss Neren, that our country, Philippines, was one of the most important center of global trade in Southeast Asia at that time?
Correct, Marvick. It was regarded as one of the region's most developed areas. Despite the country's advancement, the people's superstitious beliefs and Catholic doctrines and practices during the Spanish era stifled the country's scientific progress.
Can I ask a question, Miss Mariby?
Sure, Miss Estela. What is that?
Here is my question. Who do you think have a greater influence on the development of science and technology in the Philippines?
Well, in comparison to the Spaniards, Americans have a greater influence on the development of science and technology in the Philippines. They develop a public education system, enhance engineering projects, and improve people's health. They established the University of the Philippines as model research university and built more public hospitals than the former colonial master.
And don't forget the mineral resources of the country were also explored and exploited during their times. Transportation and communication systems were improved.
Exactly. The Americans did everything to Americanize the Philippines. They recognized the learning of science and introduced in public and private school. In basic education, science education focuses on nature studies and sanitation until it became a subject formerly known as science. The teaching of science in higher education has also greatly improved and modernized. Research was done to control tropical disease. The desire of the Americans to develop the Philippines' human resources to serve them, their own self-interest and advantages to the country in some way. This enabled to the United States of America to intellectual to promote new technology and information to the country.
Can you give us a brief history of World War II and how the technology helped the community after the war?
During World War II has destabilized the country's progress in numerous ways. Institutions and public institutions were razed to the ground, homes were set ablaze, the lives of people were lost. The country had a terrible time rebuilding itself after the war. Although the human passion to survive and restore the country is strong, the capacity of the country to do is not. The restitution monies were utilized to construct several public institutions and facilities, including schools, hospitals, and transportation systems. The reparation funds from Japan were also used to construct motorways and in the country's technological training and human resource development.
I'm curious, Stella, how ODA or Overseas Development Allocation and Human Resources Development helps in technology and science in the Philippines?
Since the new republic's inception, the entire nation has been concentrating on making the most use of its limited resources. To improve its scientific and technological capabilities, it has explored the use of ODA or Overseas Development Assistance contributions from several countries to assist the country increase its scientific and technical productivity capabilities.
Human resource development is the center of these attempts to increase output. Engineers, scientists, technology experts, medics, and other professions across the nation. Based on the country's brief history, the Philippines has made significant advances in science and technology, which is influenced by varied optics. Similarly to the country's scientific histories, it is always shaped by internal and external human and social actions. That's all guys. Thank you for watching.
Government policies on political science and technology.
Hi guys! Welcome to my brainstorming channel. I'm Ladine Camille, and for today's video, let's explore and be knowledgeable about our government policies on science and technology. Do you know science trivia about our government policies on science and technologies? Are you excited to learn new things? Come and join with me as we explore and find out these new trivia. Did you know that the Philippine government introduced and implemented several programs, projects, and policies to boost the area of science and technology? And the goal is to prepare the whole country and its people to meet the demands of a technologically driven world and capacitate the people to be in a world driven by science. And as a result of the consultation, the NCRP is expected to recommend policies and programs that will improve the competitiveness of the Philippines in the ASEAN region. Oh wait, I want to share some trivia with you guys. The NCRP divided this cluster into 4. Number 1, social science, humanities, education, international policies, and governance. They integrate ASEAN awareness in basic education without adding to the curriculum, as well as emphasizing teaching in mother tongue. Developing school infrastructure in providing for ICT broadband and local food industry. Second is physics, engineering, and industrial research in earth and space science, and also mathematics. Their aim are emphasizing degrees, licenses, and employment opportunities. Outright grants for peer monitoring, review of RA 9184, and harnessing science and technology as an independent mover of the development. Well, sounds interesting. And there's also in the field of medical, chemical, and pharmaceutical sciences. They ensure compliance of drug manufacturing firms with ASEAN harmonized standard by full implementation of the Food and Drug Administration. Creating an education council dedicated to standardization of pharmaceutical services and care. Empowering food and drug agencies conduct evidence-based research as full of information. Allocating 2% of the GDP to research and legislating a law supporting human genome projects. The last but not the least in the cluster is the biological science, agriculture, and forestry. The aim is protecting and conserving biodiversity by full implementation of the existing law, use of biosafety and standard model by ASEAN countries, promoting indigenous knowledge system in indigenous people conservation, and also formulation of common food and safety standard. Amazing, right? But wait, there's more. Our discovery of knowledge does not end here. For today's video, my friend Charisse will join us as we explore and gain more knowledge. Hello, Therese, are you there? Tell them other existing programs supported by the Philippine government through the DOST. Can do it, Therese.
Thank you, for bringing me here in your channel. Hi guys, I'm Charis and I have something to share with you. And I also excited to share this knowledge which I have learned on our science and technology class. So stay tuned!
Let's brainstorm.
There are also other existing programs supported by the Philippine government through the DOST, providing funds for basic research and patients related to science and technology. The government funds basic and applied researchers. Funding of these research and projects are also from the Overseas Development Aid or DAA from different countries, providing scholarship for undergraduate and graduate studies of students in the field of science and technology, establishing more branches of the Philippine Science High School system for training young Filipinos in the field of science and technology, creating science and technology parks to encourage academic and industry partnership. The Scientist program to encourage Filipino scientists abroad to come home and work in the Philippines or conduct research and project collaboration with Philippine-based scientists, developing science and technology parks in academic campuses to encourage academic and industry partnership. Know that the establishment of the National Science Complex and National Engineering Complex within the University of the Philippines campus in Diliman. This aims to develop more science and technology and engineering manpower resources needed by the country. They also aim to produce more researchers in this field, such as establishment of national centers of excellence, manpower and institutional development programs, establishment of regional centers to support a specific industry that will lead the country in different research and development areas, establishment of science and technology business centers to assist, advise, and incubate techno-entrepreneurship ventures, strengthening science education at an early stage to the Philippine Science High School system. There's more. In the field of education, several science-related programs and projects were created to development the scientific literacy of the country. The current K-12 education programs included science, technology, engineering, and mathematics or STEM as one of its major tracks in the senior high school program to encourage more students to enroll in science-related fields in college. Lately, the Commission on Higher Education launched its Philippines California Advanced Research Institute project. This project is hoped to strengthen the STEM competitiveness of the country.
The famous Filipinos in the field of science.
Hi Miss, ano pong name nyo?
Hello po, I'm Lalaine Ambala po.
Okay, Miss Lalaine. Nakilala po ba kayong famous Filipino in the field of science?
Yes ma'am, meron po. I know Mr. Ramon Barba. He's one of the Filipino inventor and horticulturist, or it's all about the garden cultivation and management, or mga tungkol po sa pagtatanim.
Sa tingin niyo po, ano po yung mga na-discover niyo?
He discovered or invented a way to induce small flowers in mango trees using the ethyl and potassium nitrite.
Kay Miss Lalaine, sa tingin niyo po, sa mga na-discover niyo, ano po yung makakatulong sa ating bansa?
Before, mango trees is available in our country only in the month of May. But because of Mr. Ramon Barba innovation, mango trees can be induced to flower out of season. Dahil din doon, maaari na natin i-enjoy yung mangga sa kahit anong buwan o araw na ating gusto. Ang mangga ay kilala rin hindi lang sa ating bansa, kundi pati sa mga ibang bansa. Dahil sa doon, kung patuloy nararami ang mangga, makakapag-export tayo. Pag nakapag-export tayo, tataas ang ekonomiya ng ating bansa. Dahil doon, magkakaroon ng maraming trabaho ang mga farmer. Makakatulong ito para sa ating mga kababayan. Thank you.
Hi Miss, ano pong name nyo?
Good day, ma'am. My name is Trixie Matro.
Okay, Miss Trixie, may kilala po ba kayong sikat na Pilipino sa larangan ng siyensya? At ano po ang mga na-discover niya?
Yes, siya po ay si Lourdes J. Cruz. Pinanganak noong May 19, 1942. Isa Filipino biochemist whose research has contributed to the understanding of biochemistry of toxic peptides from bottom of fishing hunting conus marine snails. Throughout the Philippines, she is known as the sea snails beton specialist. The characterization of over 50 biologically active peptides from the snail beton has been made possible in part by her study scientific finding regarding peptides found in snails have application in diagnostic tools from cancers and development drugs for the treatment of neurological disorders. She has also contributed to the development of chronotoxins as tools for the examining the activity of the human brain.
Okay, Miss Trixie, sa tingin niyo po, ano sa mga na-discover niya ang makakatulong sa ating bansa?
I think siguro ang isa sa mga discovery niya na makakatulong sa ating bansa is yung toxic peptides from bottom of fishing hunting conus marine snails because application in diagnostic tools for the cancer and the development of drugs for the treatment of the neurological disorders. Her contribution to the science have either received award and acknowledgements, including being named National Scientist of the Philippines in 2006.
Hey, could you put your hands up, please, Eddie Ann? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Intro as
Indigenous Science and Technology.
me and my partner, I'm Rose Munduron from DSDNH. We're going to discuss about endangered science and technology in the Philippines. So, partner, are you ready? Partner, I have a question. What do you think is the role of endangered science in our social activity?
During the early times, Filipino tried to invent tools that help them every life. They also develop alternative ideas in explaining the world around them. This system of knowledge is also called indigenous knowledge, which is foundation indigenous science and is contributes sustainability and conductibility to our ecosystem.
Hey, welcome back. Today, my topic for today is endangered science and technology in the Philippines. Katulad na lamang ito, or ito.
Hey, I will keep that time. Do you have anything else to add, partner?
Sa dumagat and the traditional herbal medicine of many Filipinos. Katulad na lamang ito, or ito. I will give me an 3 example of medicine herbs.
Ang daon ng ampalaya ay nakakagamot sa bulate at diarrhea at sa may mga problema ng sakit ng tiyan. Ang halamang gamot ng bayabas ay ginagamit sa paninis ng sugat, impeksyon sa bibig, maganggilagid, bulok ng ngipin. Ang sambong ay nakakatulong upang mapigilan ang sakit ng stroke at cancer at cardiovascular.
So, all of these you mentioned are part of indigenous science and technology, partner.
Halimbawa ng likas na yaman, yamang tao, yamang tubig, yamang lupa, yamang gubat. Ang kalagayan ng likas ng yaman, mahalaga ang likas ng yaman dahil nakakatulong ito sa pang-araw-araw ng pamumuhay ng mga tao sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng hanap buhay tulad ng pangingisda, pagsasaka at pagmimina.
That are taught and practiced by indigenous people are predicting weather, condition, and season using knowledge observing animals, behavior,
and celestial bodies. Using the herbal medicine, preserving foods, and classifying plants and animals into families or groups. Using indigenous technology in our daily lives, building local irrigation system, classifying different types of soil, types of juices, and wines from tropical fruit, and keeping the cost of growing plants and vegetable in the yard. It's like we will not be able to have modern science today if indigenous science didn't exist in the first place. Partner, before we end our today's vlog, I would like to leave them with a quote. If people can acknowledge the wisdom of the indigenous culture, then that you're lost. Thank you. Bye-bye.
No more, no more. I wanna but I'm broken hearted. Cry, but I like to party. Touch, but I got nobody here on my own. I wanna but I'm broken hearted. Cry, since the day we parted. Touch, but I got nobody, so I do it so long.